The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
According to an ESPN Jets insider, the Jets have done extensive research on Penn State tight end Tyler Warren. Is he the pick at 7? We'll get into that and much more. Jets reporter Nick Faria joins us in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show on a Friday. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go. Second show on the day. Click the like button. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. And in honor of Mr. Bonesy winning the first ever Asmaniac Madness Championship, I'm excited to say we have a brand new Mr. Bonesy emoji. An upgrade. The Bonesy Championship emoji is now live for all Asmaniac channel members to enjoy. Congrats again to Bonesy, and thank you to everyone who made Asmaniac Madness the last month so much fun. Over 40,000 total votes across our month-long contest, but someone had to win, and I can't think of anyone who is more deserving than the great Mr. Bonesy. With that said, let's talk Jets, and let's say hello to a good friend of the show, Jets reporter Nick Faria. Nick, happy Friday, my man.
Happy Friday, Jake. Great to be back on.
So we got a ton to cover. Obviously, we're at that point in the calendar where we're all just kind of waiting to get to the draft. But this is the time of year you hear various reports. And the latest is from Rich Samiti in a story that came out today that according to his sources, the Jets have done extensive homework on Penn State tight end Tyler Warren. 6'6", 256 pounds. He had 104 catches last year. Nick, you've been outspoken on this show that you think the Jets should take a player in the trenches, either an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. But I do want to ask you about Warren. If they do pick him, what are your thoughts on the type of player the Jets are potentially getting?
You're getting a two-way player, a guy that I think is a little bit further ahead than Colson Loveland as an overall run blocker. And, of course, we've seen what he can do as a pass catcher out there, not just catching the football as a route runner, but also moving with the ball in his hands. Very, very good yards after the catch percentage. The one thing that I will say in favor of Warren is the fact that the desperation of finding a tight end that you can trust over the middle of the field is absolutely there for the New York Jets, more so this offseason than it was last offseason. Last offseason with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, you think to yourself, well, he's got Garrett Wilson. He can figure out a way to be successful. He's a 4-time NFL MVP, future Hall of Famer. Not saying that was the right way to go, but it was just more of you trust Aaron Rodgers to be able to do whatever he needs to do with the cast of characters that he has. It's a different story now with Justin Fields. He needs those quality weapons. So the argument for Tyler Warren, again, I'm not saying they should take him, but the argument for Warren is really good over the middle, very good blocker, will probably need less work as an overall blocker in training camp than someone like Loveland, and just be a little bit more pro-ready at this point. It's just you're splitting hairs really with Loveland and Warren, but I think Warren is probably the better tight end right now.
When it comes to Warren, would you anticipate him being like the number 2 pass catcher right away? Like, are they getting a player that, just like Bowers a year ago, immediately has an impact on the offense?
No, I'm not. And I think that's one of the main reasons why the Jets should wait and not worry about the tight end position with the 7th overall pick. Brock Bowers is one of the best tight end prospects we have seen come out of college. Tyler Warren is nowhere close to where Brock Bowers is not. Let me go back. Tyler Warren is not the player that Brock Bowers was coming out of college. That's just an unmistakable fact. And the way that I look at it for the Jets is if you are not getting a Brock Bowers type of player at 7, then what the hell are you doing taking the position anyway? This is a very deep tight end class. You can get some really good quality starters in the 2nd and 3rd round that can do a really good job as receivers. Maybe they need a little more work in blocking, but that blocking side of things is going to be very impactful for this team moving forward in a run-centric offense.
Your thoughts on the idea that this tight end class is deep. And I get what you're saying, and we've heard that, but give us some names that you like. If the Jets do take a trench player, let's say at 7, what pick could you expect them to use on a tight end? Would it be as early as pick 42? Could you see it being later than that? Just evaluate the tight end class as a whole and some other options if the Jets decide to not take Tyler Warren.
I think if they do take a guy like Membu or Campbell with the 7th overall pick, I do think it's a very safe bet that they target the tight end position in the 2nd round. I mentioned in my mock Mason Taylor from LSU, probably, in my opinion, the favorite to go in that one. Miami's Elijah Arroyo, another solid one. The tight end from Texas, really good as well, although I think he can go probably in the 3rd round. This is a very deep class overall, but the question and concern that you have with tight ends, particularly those coming out of the draft in the early rounds, is you're going to want them to be impactful right away. I look at Mason Taylor as a raw player that Zach Ertz was when he came out of Stanford. Very similar traits, very athletic, good route runners. Probably need to do a little bit more work in terms of run blocking and pass blocking, but overall you're drafting him to be a pass receiver. So I look at Taylor, I look at Arroyo as quality guys that if they were to take them in the 2nd round, would be excellent picks and excellent value instead of worrying about the tight end position in a top 10 pick.
We're talking with Jets reporter Nick Faria. If you have a comment or question for Nick, write it in. If it's a super chat, it will go first, and we will move you to the front of the line. Your thoughts on the Jets potentially being able to find a trade partner, Nick? My preference, if I'm ranking them, like trade back is number 1. I understand It takes 2 to tango there. But give us some teams in your estimation that maybe would trade up for a particular player that the Jets could do business with.
Well, to me, the only reason why a trade would happen is because Shedeur Sanders falls to 7. And there is a path to that happening. If the Giants pass on Shedeur, there's not really a path for him to go top 5 and potentially even top 9 at this point. You look at the New Orleans Saints as probably the best overall fit in that situation. If the Pittsburgh Steelers get really desperate, and I mean really desperate by missing out on Aaron Rodgers, if he chooses to retire, could they trade up all the way up to 7 and potentially give the Jets an extra 1st-round pick? I think that's well within the possibility for the draft. You look, I mentioned already the Saints, teams to look out for. The Miami Dolphins, there's some conversations there that Miami might try to get a quarterback if one falls to them at the exact point. All these other teams could potentially have that conversation. The San Francisco 49ers, they may not want to pay Brock Purdy $40, $50, $60 million of a contract. So they would rather just start the new quarterback on a rookie deal again, do the exact same thing they did with Purdy, and take Sanders instead. Maybe they trade up for that particular position. Not saying it's going to happen, but there are going to be teams that want the quarterback. The hard part is finding a team that gives you the right value in a trade. As of right now, from the people that I've spoken to around the league, there is a great reluctance of teams that want to move up. No one really wants to make a move. No one really wants to get aggressive in this class. Last year, the phones were flying everywhere because it was a very deep class. You had a great quarterback class. You had a great offensive line class. The receivers were great. There were some great defensive players. Everyone was stacked. Every position group was stacked. That's not really the case this draft. The quarterback class, while good, is not as great as it was in 2024. The offensive line class is pretty top-heavy. It's deep at running back. It's deep at tight end. But those aren't really positions of key value that you look to trade up for in the 1st round.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. It is a Friday. Mr. Bonesy is an Asmaniac world champion. I keep checking the poll that doesn't exist. I might be having Asmaniac Madness withdrawals, but I appreciate everyone tuning in to this very show. Reminder, we do have a raffle coming at the conclusion of the weekend. It is a Super Bowl III Joe Namath helmet as our top prize this week. 2nd place prize is a signed Curtis Martin helmet. 3rd place prize is a signed Joe Klecko football. fourth place prize is a signed Wayne Corbett football. So our theme is Jets retired numbers. So we're honoring some of the greatest to ever play in the history of the New York Jets. So gift away for your chance to win any of those prizes. Your thoughts on the Allen Lazard restructure, Nick? It came down yesterday. I admit I'm a little surprised that they did anything to his deal. What was your reaction to the Jets and Allen Lazard agreeing to a new deal where he essentially takes a pay cut and the Jets could lower his cap number significantly?
I've got a column coming out on Jets X Factor about that exact question, Jake. But it really just comes down to this. This allows New York to do whatever the hell they want to do. If they want to trade him, his contract is now far more easy to move, whether it be to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who may want to pair him with Aaron Rodgers if they end up going that way at quarterback. If they want to ship him off to a different team who is very desperate at the wide receiver position, this allows them to do that. This also allows them to just simply cut ties after June 1st and say, listen, thanks for the signing, thanks for the extra cap space. We're going to move forward in a different direction. We like Josh Reynolds. We like whoever we draft in this draft class. We're just going to move on from you there if you don't play well enough in OTAs in training camp. This also, though, gives a path available for Lazard to stick on this team, at least for this season. At $4 million, his cap hits $4 million. $4 million, that's not a lot for any top receiver, any second or third string wide receiver, whether he's coming out of the slot or not. That's kind of wide receiver 4 money on some rosters. So I look at this and I say, well, this is kind of the path to Allen Lazard returning for the Jets. And if he actually ends up returning, that's not the worst thing possible. You look at the numbers he had last season, his first full year of being with the New York Jets, obviously signed in the offseason, but he had a full chance to work with Aaron Rodgers, work with the team last year. He put up better numbers. The catch percentage was a lot better. The yards were a lot better. The drop percentage was worse. No one's denying that. But there was a semblance of positivity from Lazard. He was not as atrocious as he was in that first year. And if you're paying $4 million for a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, you would want a player who knows how to be somewhat competent. I'm not saying fully competent, but somewhat competent like Allen Lazard can be.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We're talking with Jets reporter Nick Faria in his weekly spot on the show. I just, for the life of me, don't want to go into the year having to rely on Allen Lazard. Like, I understand they have some flexibility with you have at least someone on the roster who's not, a complete unknown, but we kind of know what Lazard is. Like, I've already seen what it looks like when Aaron Rodgers is not throwing to him. It's brutal. And even with Rodgers throwing to him last year, he still had the highest drop percentage in the NFL, and he didn't even play the full season. So I don't know, man. I just feel like we're talking about unlocking Justin Fields, and he's going to be given a chance to play quarterback. Well, his second best pass catcher under no circumstance could be Allen Lazard, and you can't expect Justin Fields to break out if that's the case.
I think what it'll end up being is Reynolds probably steps into that wide receiver 2 role. Whoever they take at tight end is probably 3. They try to utilize Breece Hall as a receiver more often. They kind of use Lazard as that wide receiver 3, 4, target number 4, 5 in an offense like this. I don't think he's going to have as big a role as he's had when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback and they were preparing for Aaron Rodgers to be the quarterback. But he is a good locker room presence. He's a good teammate, a good leader. With a young player like Garrett Wilson continuing to mature, you want to have some semblance of veteran continuity that helps sort of calm everything down in the room. And also at the same time, there aren't many good wide receiver 4s in the NFL. There aren't many great wide receiver 3s. I'm not saying Lazard is a good or great player, but the expectations of where he was before, an $11 million player, that's not there anymore. Like you said, Jake, everyone knows who he is. We all know his problems, his deficiencies. He's not a fast player, and he drops just a ton of balls every single year. We also know he's a good leader. He can make catches. He can get himself open at times. It's just a matter of now you're not overpaying him to be in 10 to 15 snaps a game.
Joseph says, Lazard isn't a bad player. What the heck does Jake want? Have you watched Allen Lazard, Joseph? He's not very good. You're going to try and tell me he's not a bad player? Are you serious? He's not good. He's not good at
And again,
all.
I'm not sitting here saying that Alan Lazard deserves to be here because of his play. That's not what I'm saying. He's had 2 very, very poor seasons. And when you look at the contract that he originally signed, a 4-year, $44 million, it is a woeful contract given out by Joe Douglas. However, to sit there and say there is no merit to keeping him, that's where I will step in and disagree, because leadership in the locker room does matter. He can get open at times. Last year was a big boost. Quarterbacks throwing him the football at a 40-point higher quarterback percentage throwing to him than they did the previous year. There are statistics that will support him. There are also obvious statistics that show that he cannot play wide receiver at the NFL level. It's just a matter of what the Jets prefer going into this year. With Josh Reynolds as a wide receiver too, if they trust Malachi Corley, all these questions still need to be asked. At the very least, though, this allows them to be versatile in what they want to do with Lazard.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're talking with Jets reporter Nick Faria. Jets and Alan Lazard agreeing to a revised deal for 2025, $8.5 million in cap savings, around $1.75 million guaranteed for Lazard. So, as Nick alluded to, still an opportunity for the Jets to flex Lazard to a different team, and who knows what exactly his future will be. Justin Fields spoke earlier this week, Nick. First time we've had you on since then. Did you learn anything from the new starting QB of the New York Jets?
No, I think he passed the first test. It's another column that I wrote on X Factor kind of explaining that. But when you are on your 3rd team in as many years, you were drafted as a former first-round pick, and the offense that you are coming into is trying to change and at least develop a system so you can be successful. This is essentially his last chance. And it seems from the conversation that reporters had with him, he understands that. He is aware that there are not going to be many other chances in his career to be a starter week 1 at the beginning of the season. So the way I look at it, Fields was appreciative of the opportunity the Jets gave. I was a little surprised at the comments about the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. But for someone who's never really been high on Mike Tomlin, it didn't really surprise me overall. But at the end of the day, Fields needs to show that he is a mature quarterback who can develop into a very good passer. It's something he wasn't able to do in his first 4 years in the National Football League. He's getting a last opportunity now to do so with the Jets.
Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. Cut the line. All right, there's a debate. The Ashton Jeanty debate. Do you believe the Jets should consider the Boise State running back at pick 7?
No, absolutely not. Jeanty is probably a top 3 to 5 player in this draft, and no one is taking that away from him. He had one of the greatest college seasons of all time. I personally thought he did enough to win the Heisman this past year. If I had to vote, I would have voted for Jeanty. I don't take a running back in the top 10. You can't, in good conscience, with all these weaknesses all across the roster, go double up at the running back position just to trade Breece Hall for a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Breece Hall is coming off his worst year in the NFL. He played poorly, and that's not that he was god awful. It's just it was a clear down year from his rookie and sophomore season. What value do you think you're going to get off of a down year? Everyone wants to get rid of players after these bad seasons, but you forget that no other team is going to want them for the value that you want for your player off of a bad season. So the Jets, in my mind, in their thought process, are probably going to sit there and say, let's put him down in a running back by committee approach like they're going to do. Let's give him less touches, but more opportunities to be successful, and see if he can go out and have a great year. If that happens, great. We could potentially move him. We can try to franchise tag him and then move him. There's so many different things we could possibly do if Breece Hall comes back and has a successful season. But taking Jeanty with the 7th overall pick just because he's available and because you can move Breece Hall for a 3rd or a 4th doesn't mean you should. I think that is grossly a mistake by any organization that takes a running back in the top 10.
I just don't see how that is a wise pick for a brand new regime when you have so many other holes. And I don't want to say they've intentionally done it, but part of the strategy is to fill, you would think, those holes in the draft with 3 picks in the top 73. So you can't justify Jeanty to me at 7. And people will say, well, the Lions, look how high they took Gibbs. Well, they were in year 3 of their turnaround. Like, it wasn't the same thing.
And let's also be honest. If we want to talk about why they took Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, then we need to also acknowledge what happened back in 2021. That first year of that new regime, they had an opportunity. They desperately needed a wide receiver. They also needed a right tackle. The offensive line was really good, but they knew it could be better with one more piece. So who do they take? They take Penny Sewell. They forget about Devontae Smith. They take Sewell, and they build their team from the trenches out, and they've been one of the more successful teams that we have seen over the last couple of years. I mean, you start in the trenches, then you build out. The Jets are not at the point of this retool where they should be taking skill position guys just because, he's a great player at a position that's going to be star-studded and he's going to put butts in the seats. That's not a way to build a football team. Speaking
of putting butts in the seat, would you say Mr. Bonesy has that effect on people?
Absolutely.
Nick Faria?
Hey, listen, he won.
He's the champ. And a brand new Bonesy emoji is now live for people to use if you're a channel member, and effective immediately at jakeasman.com. For a limited time only, a Mr. Bonesy Championship Asmaniac Madness t-shirt is also being sold. It is the cheapest shirt in the store. It will only be there for a limited time. I'm not trying to make money on this. I just had to produce it and basically break even per sale. So if you want to celebrate the Bones Man, and don't worry, I already ordered a shirt for Mr. Bonesy himself. But if you want to get a official Mr. Bonesy shirt, head to jakeasman.com and use actually, you know what? Patreon users, you know the promo code. I'm not giving it out. But if you're a Patreon user, the promo code applies, and you can get yourself a Bonesy shirt for a limited time in our merch store. The Asmaniac Madness Champion shirt for Mr. Bonesy. Just put it up in the store moments ago. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. By the way, jakeasman.com for all the merch. If you want any Asmaniac, Jake Asman Show, or some of our AGHC shirts and hoodies that we still have available. Nick Shine wrote in that Bonesy promised to sign his stomach at the party. Fantastic, Nick.
Gotta do it.
Love that. Let's see. Alan wrote in that Jeanty's the third best talent in the draft. Getting that at 7 would be intriguing. It wouldn't be smart team building. No one's denying he's a great player. It's just not how you build your team when you're where the Jets are right now.
Alan, I completely agree. He's the third best talent in this draft. No denying that. So was Saquon Barkley when he came out of the draft. Were the Giants smart to take him with the second overall pick when Quentin Nelson and other quarterbacks were available? Of course not, because you don't take a running back when you have other needs on the roster, particularly other needs of high value along the offensive line. A good right tackle can make an average running back look elite. A good running back cannot save a bad offensive line.
Well said. Hennessy with a super chat. He starts us off. First super chat of the day. This will pay for part of my subway ride later to the Badlands event that I'm appearing at. Hope Jeanty falls to number 7 for a trade down. Hello, Dallas. Jeanty, well, okay. There's a couple players in this draft that you think could maybe warrant the Jets finding a partner. Like, and obviously you said Shador, maybe Jackson Dart if a team loves him. But I think Jeanty, depending on the team, Jeanty could be that other player that maybe a team would consider moving up for. I have some reservations on it. I don't want the Jets to do it at 7, but if Dallas wants to come up from, where are they, 12? Wherever they,
12, yeah.
Come on up, baby. Come on up.
I would love Ashton Jeanty to be drafted by the Cowboys in a trade-up scenario where Jerry Jones is giving multiple draft picks up to essentially rerun the Zeke Elliott era, where he was really, really good for 2 years, and then he broke down because they gave him the ball 400 times. I mean, that is just pinnacle Dallas Cowboys. Would I be surprised with it? Absolutely not. It would make me the happiest man on draft day.
Ladies and gentlemen, your super chats. Another one from Ray Danger, who says, I think Jeanty affects the game too much to pass by. I have no problem getting an offensive tackle in the second round. He's still a running back, though, right? Like, it'd be different if they had, no options at running back. I still think Breece Hall could be a really, really good player in this league. He's
a good player. He's 24, 25 years old. We're giving We're giving up on a player that is still that young because he had a down year. And this is what happens with every single fan base. A player has a bad year, everyone wants to move off from him. Sometimes when you get young players, they have bad seasons, and they're able to come back with proper tutelage, proper coaching, and a proper system around them. If you put Breece Hall behind a really good offensive line, I think he could be really successful in a Pro Bowl player. He is 2 years removed. His sophomore season, he was fourth in the NFL, the entire NFL in yards from scrimmage. He is not some bum on the street that is just struggling to figure things out. He's a really good player that had a down year. I think he's a good candidate to have a bounce-back year next season.
I agree with you. And I also look at it from this perspective. It's like we're already potentially going outside the traditional norm at tight end. Like, at least
why
that
are you
makes
doing
sense
it to running back?
Right, there's such a need, but it's like it's like you can almost sell yourself on Warren because, well, it's not a great wide receiver year. Jets are at 7. Warren is a top 5 talent in this class based on most people's evaluation. Like, you can understand the thought process. It'd be tough to explain taking Jeanty just, oh, well, he's the best player on our board at that pick when you already have Breece and you took 2 running backs who showed you a little bit last year.
Braylon Allen in this offense, particularly in an offense run in a similar system like Detroit, as you expect with Tanner Engstrand, he can have another big year. I think there's a good opportunity here for the Jets to at least be top 5 in the league in rushing, maybe even top 3, if they solidify this offensive line. If Membu comes in and they take him at 7, and you have Breece Hall and Justin Fields and Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, this is a dangerous rushing attack that is going to win the Jets some games.
Let's hope. I mean, God, let us hope, shall we? Let us hope. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. If you have a question for Nick, write it in. We'll pull it up on the show. Nick Shine checks in with a super chat. I really hope they are an un-Steelers-like move and trade up with us for a QB. Get more ammo for a quarterback in 26 draft. Madness withdrawal is real. No doubt. I miss Asmaniac Madness tremendously. But you know what I'm going to do before we have Nick answer that question? I'm going to give you guys a little Asmaniac Madness. Congrats again to our winner, Mr. Bonesy. Yeah, baby. Anyway, congrats again to Bones. Yeah, as far as the Steelers, I'm with you, Nick. Both Nick Shine and Nick Faria potentially. Pittsburgh wants to come up. They want Shador. He's there at 7. You could take a lot from Pittsburgh in that type of scenario. I'd want a pick this year that's a premium one, and I'd want arguably their first rounder next year if they're going to go all the way up from, 21 to 7?
Oh, it's going to have to. If they're going up 21 to 7, you're going to need to give up another first-round pick in order to make that happen. I shake my head, not because I don't think it's possible. I shake my head because I do think it is. I think the Steelers are just desperate, and it's so unlike them. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers for a good 40 years were the pinnacle franchise that everyone wanted to be. They were the model of consistency. And now that consistency is 9-8, 10-7, making it to the first round and losing by 2 scores, whether it be to a division rival on the road or to a team that is just better than you in every way, because you want to make sure and win it your way and win it your style. It's unfathomable to me that the Steelers have gotten to where they are. And I will continuously say, would you rather your team be good enough to get there, good enough to get to the playoffs, but never good enough to win a Super Bowl? Or would you rather your team just be bad and try to rebuild and take as many, chances at a top 5 pick? I will gladly take the top 5 pick and continue to take those big gambles instead of just always being okay, but never actually truly great like they once were.
It's just not a great quarterback class. So it's just, you're just unsure if someone's really willing to be that in love with Shador Sanders that they want to trade up that much. Or even Jackson Dart, right? We know the Steelers have done their homework on him, bringing him in for a top 30 visit. So,
or Jalen Milroe. Listen, I don't think Milroe's a first-round talent. I really don't. But what I think Jalen Hurts has done is he's sort of overcorrecting things in the NFL, where teams are going to be so desperate to find that kind of quarterback that you can just surround with great talent, have great leadership intangibles, have great intangibles in the pocket, and then see if you can win a Super Bowl. Like Pittsburgh, he did a story one time on New Heights a couple of years ago where he was saying that the Steelers were the team that he thought he was going to the most in the second round, and Pittsburgh ended up taking Chase Claypool instead of him. I think Pittsburgh could be a team that overcorrects and tries to take Jalen Milroe instead. That would be an interesting one to me at 21.
Interesting. Milroe was invited to the draft for what it's
So,
worth.
yeah, that's crazy, man. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
First round, though. I think he could go earlier than we expect. I'm with you. Personally, though, I would be surprised if we see this guy go from the first round or from like a day 3 pick to he ends up going to the first round. Like we've seen other guys do it, but I can't remember a quarterback of his style where he's so raw and you're just drafting on the athlete. Like that's like Tim
100%.
Tebow going in the first round. That's how like stunning that would be.
And the other thing is this: why would the NFL, if I were to do my Brian Windhorst impression, why would the NFL do that? Why would they invite Jalen Milroe to the NFL draft if he's just going to sit in the room for 2 rounds? Something's up.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, another super chat here from Sam. Appreciate it, Sam. You spoke about leadership in the locker room and Lazard. How are those 2 words associated in a sentence? Answer, Nick. Answer for yourself.
It's, the people that I've spoken to in the locker room, the players that I've spoken to, they have great respect for Alan Lazard. I'm telling you what they tell me. It's leadership. I'm not saying he's a great receiver. I'm not saying he's a good receiver, but leadership does matter. And, the players that I've spoken to have always had great things to say about Alan Lazard.
Interesting. Do you consider yourself a Lazard truther, Nick?
No, because, and again, I'm sitting there saying, he's wide receiver 4, wide receiver 3. He's not some, barn burner, this great player. I wouldn't even call him a good player. But for a wide receiver 4, a wide receiver 3, $4 million, that's a pretty fair price point.
Oh, my goodness. I have some major breaking news that I want to share with the Asmaniacs. Someone just bought a draft ticket, and I am pumped to see this notification come through the pipeline. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Mimosa will be attending the Asmaniac draft party with Fireman Ed 13 days from right now. She's flying in from Orlando to be a part of it. That is awesome. Can't wait to meet you in person, Mimosa. I just got the notification. Buy your ticket before we sell out. I think we had like 60 or so left at the start of today, and I haven't checked to see how many people bought tickets besides Mimosa. So go, go, go if you're joining us for what should be a heck of a night. Talking Jets, celebrating Mr. Bonesy, giveaways, drink specials. Your ticket includes a complimentary beer, wine, or seltzer. It's going to be a blast, man. So come on down, click the link in the description, and make sure you lock in your ticket. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. All right, so this was a good question here that just came through here from Christopher, who says, if the Steelers take Milroe, right, let's say the Jets do that, or if the Jets do that trade with the Steelers, they want to come up from 21 to 7. Which prospects around that 21 range do you think would be a good fit in that type of scenario for the Jets?
That's a great question. I think Loveland is probably a player that would be around that particular draft point if they want to go the tight end route, Colston Loveland. I haven't really thought about that situation. Warren, if he falls, but I don't think he'll fall at 21. The 2 tackles are going to be gone. It might be a situation where maybe they try to trade down again, because I wouldn't take a guy like Connerly so early at 21. I would try to trade back into the later 20s to take them. So if the Jets want to move out to 21 and pick up another draft pick, don't be surprised if they try to move back again for another player, because there aren't really many tackles that I would take top 25 in this class. There are a good collection in the second round, early second, late first. 21's kind of in that no man's land right now, but it's difficult to predict, particularly in a situation like that. Keep an eye on a guy like Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle from Michigan. I know they like Derek Harmon, the guy from Oregon who just visited yesterday. He's another defensive tackle where they could potentially go that route if they wanted to. It's kind of up in the air if they were to trade that far back.
Not a super chat, a standard chat. Is that what it's called? From Jersey Jet. Jake, can you put up a poll, please? We can't go cold turkey. I need to vote. All right, Jersey Jet, have your wish. Today's poll question: do you miss Asmaniac madness? Yes, or second option, duh. And that poll is officially live. Vote, vote, vote. You didn't think we'd have no poll today, did you? Ladies and gentlemen, our poll is live. Let's see. Here's an Asmaniac super chat from Rowan Marshall. If we draft an O-lineman at 7, what do you think the plan should be in the second and third round to address the other holes, and what should be the priority?
Yeah, so this is a great question. Second and third will probably go down to weapons, tight end, wide receiver. In my mock, I had Kyle Williams going to them in the third round. There's obviously a lot of different options. They could also go defensive tackle, a clear position of need as well. Deion Walker is one that I look at right away. They're probably going to draft a quarterback within the top 4 or 5 picks. Keep an eye on Kyle McCord there. The Jalen Milroe, I always kind of penciled him in as a great fit for the Jets overall, just based on trying to run the same offense that they had with Justin Fields. But it sounds like he's going to go much earlier than I would be comfortable the Jets taking him at. So definitely receiver, definitely tight end, and defensive tackle as well.
Comments, questions, super chats. They always cut the line. D's nuts with a super chat. I think this regime's picks will be very intentional and methodical. I trust in Glenn. Well, we'll find out, but I will say this. I do like the fact that Glenn comes from a scouting background, because so many times coaches are the worst scouts. I love the fact that Glenn started as a scout and then went into coaching, advice he got from Bill Parcells. So let's hope that pays off.
Listen, he comes highly regarded, Aaron Glenn. He's got a great resume for this job, a lot of success and different stops. And he's got the experience that you look for in a head coach. That scouting experience is going to help out a lot in these kind of situations. And that comparison, I made that comparison a couple minutes ago about Detroit and what they did in their first round with Dan Campbell in 2021, taking the tackle first instead of the wide receiver. They ended up getting Amon-Ra St. Brown that same draft anyway. I could see a similar situation like this happening because I think Aaron Glenn's a student of history. He understands what is required to win NFL games. I just look at what the Jets need and what they need to focus on. And really, there's very few coaches out there that can really fix the Jets. I think Aaron Glenn could be one of them.
Let's hope. I mean, if Aaron Glenn can't fix this, I mean,
it's ugly.
My God. I mean, we love you, AG. Please lead us to greatness.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
The Glennaissance is underway. All right, more super chats here coming through the pipeline. Let's get to a couple Asmaniac-themed one. This one is from Wild Wave, who says, good teams find linemen in the later rounds. If AVT or Simpson walks, we're using another first-round pick to replace them too? Membu is an alt or Seawall, best player available.
I would disagree with this. I think Membu can absolutely he does have the upside over Sewell or an alt. He may not be the player either is when they were coming out, but he has the upside to be able to be that kind of player. He had a great year at Missouri.
Yeah, but Penei Sewell was thought of way high. I remember Penei Sewell was like a can't-miss top 5 guy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, coming out of college, these guys are obviously better, but the upside from Membu is just as good as these other two. He is very, very strong. He had a great year last year with the Tigers. It's just a matter of putting it all together and putting them in the right system to be successful. This other point, though, about worrying about the guard position, I wouldn't hold much stock into it because guards you can find in free agency as well. You can find a good guard for 2 years and $12 million. That's the deal you gave Simpson. So if I'm looking at where the Jets should focus on, you want to draft the tackles so you can get them on the rookie deals, and then you can try to find value at the guard position should Simpson or AVT walk in free agency next offseason. Having that collection of 5 for the 2025 season, I think is a no-brainer move.
Yeah, I understand the thought process with Membu. If it was a different draft like last year where you had all the receivers available, I think a receiver would be more worthwhile than a right tackle. But because
would make a lot of sense. There's just none are there.
It's not the year for it. Like you got to play the cards you're dealt. It's not the year for receivers. So I see both sides of the argument there. Joe Mike says Tyler Warren, receptions 104, yards 1,233, touchdowns 8. He's given us all the stats and then comparing it to Harold Fannin Jr. Why is Warren so much higher? ? School. So he basically, why is Warren thought of more highly regarded than Fannin?
Because
not Fannin, right?
Yeah. Very simply, he dominated at a bigger conference, and he was far more important to that offense, and he's far more athletic than a player like this. I'm not saying Fannon's not a bad prospect. I think he can be a steal in the later rounds, but comparing him to Warren, I think there's a sizable gap there, particularly as a blocker.
I tend to agree. I mean, I tend to agree.
You got to be both at the tight end position, and that's why I'm like, listen, Warren's a good blocker, but he's still going to have to go through a learning process in the NFL. He is not Brock Bowers. The Bowers discussion was intense because of the fact that he was a generational tight end. I still think the Jets made the right move because Fashanu, if you have the future of the left tackle position or the future of the tight end position, you take the future of the tackle position every single day of the week. It's no contest there. That's the only reason why they didn't take Bowers.
Somebody say Brock Bowers.
That's the thing. It's not so that Brock Bowers, missing on him was a mistake. It's just a matter of the tackle position was so much better last year. This year, you've got some really good tackles, some really good tight ends. They're kind of equal of where they are right now. So you have to go with the player that fits your need and fits the overall value of where you're making that pick.
Mr. McMoney wants to know, Nick, should the Eagles draft Beastbreaker?
I really hope not. But let's be honest. Howie Roseman, Jeff Stoutland, I think we can make Beastbreaker into a tackle.
Beast, how's it going in there?
All right, I'm a little under construction right now because we're doing belt work right now, and I'm also working with Mr. 3A Drill.
All right, Beast, we'll come back to you, man.
I just want to know, would he be willing to be coached by Jeff Stoutland? Because I think he could be the next starting guard for the Eagles next year.
Beast, thank you very much for that. Purple Belt Mike, we need to hit on a player like Amon-Ra in the later rounds. Do we have faith it will happen? Hashtag let the suffering end. Hashtag weapons, weapons, weapons. No, I would not expect the Jets to find an all-pro wide receiver in the 4th round. And that's I get the argument for the right tackle. I get it. But part of the reason why it worked out the way it did is because the Lions hit on Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. So they didn't, obviously, Jamar Chase is better than Amon-Ra, but that's not the point. Like, Amon-Ra is an all-pro receiver, and then they also got a Pro Bowl tackle. Like, that's the ultimate win. Like, that's not realistic for the Jets to say, yeah, we're going to take Armand Membo. He's going to be a Pro Bowler. And then, on day 3, we're going to find a future all-pro wide receiver.
But, and I remember this video all the time, these clips on Twitter. Would you rather have Joe Burrow getting crushed because his offensive line is so bad, but still getting the ball to Jamar Chase sometimes? Or would you rather have Joe Burrow throwing to anyone else behind a collection of great offensive linemen so he is 100% healthy throughout his career? It's the different levels of what you want in a football team. I will always go the offensive line because I truly believe the offensive line, if you have a great one, you can win a Super Bowl.
Comments, questions, super chats. Phil M checks in. Thank you, Phil. Jake, great content. Props to you. Your outside the box things you do in show and in life. Thank you, Phil. Very nice of you. Any plans to connect with the Jets to interview a player each week? They are being very strict with media availabilities. I would love to get some Jets on the show. We've had some of them on the show. Only one that the Jets actually assisted with, and that was with radio when I had Jamie and Sherwood on the morning show I did on ESPN New York in December last year. I hope to have more on, but right now there's no plans to have anyone from the Jets help me. That said, through outside ways, we've had a bunch of players on over the years, so we'll continue to try and do that. But yeah, I mean, Nick could tell you the Jets, they're trying to take a very low-key approach. They didn't make any of their free agent signings available after they signed. They were the only team in the NFL, I believe, that did that. Like, Fields didn't speak until the offseason program started. Every other team made their free agents available. The Giants made Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson available to their media.
They do it a little differently. And listen, if it works out, they move in silence, and there's nothing wrong with moving in silence either.
Silent but deadly.
That's the hope.
The Aaron Glenn model. the opposite of Charles Gorman or Beastbreaker. Super chat here. Calvin says, Cowboys at 12 for the running back Jeanty if he drops. Thoughts? We talked about this earlier,
Yes,
Calvin.
absolutely.
If Dallas wants to call the Jets and make a deal, I'm in.
Do it. Absolutely. God, I hope that happens.
Dre writes in, Nick Faria with knowledge and the statistics that we need to prepare for the draft. Will Nick be at the draft party?
Most likely not. I'll be in Florham Park. Apologies, but if Jake has a show, I'm sure I'll be on as a guest during that weekend.
Bang Mateo, Membu versus Bama. A&M was average quarterback, ran for his life.
Are we sure that it was just Membu that was struggling? Like that's the other thing. Like the tape shows he had a really good year this year, like a really good year. And there are going to be times where he struggled, and there's going to be times where he will struggle in the NFL. That is the essence of offensive linemen. In 2013, considered by many to be the worst draft class in NFL history, you had 3 tackles taken in the top 4 overall picks. The most raw player of that class turned out to be the best of all of them, and that was Lane Johnson. We have no idea if he's going to be able to translate to the NFL. We have no idea if Tyler Warren will be able to translate to the NFL. It's a matter of positional value before anything else. If you want the offensive line solidified, you take the tackle. If you want to have Tuka Okorafor starting at right tackle for the 2025 season, then you take Tyler Warren. That's essentially where you're at right now.
Nick writes in, what if the Giants shock the world, trade back a bit, take Jeanty to make up for the Barkley debacle?
Oh, please. That would probably warm my heart even more. Please. They have Tracy, who had a really good rookie season. I think he ran for over 1,000 yards. He was really good. Please go ahead and draft Ashton Jeanty. That would make my day.
I don't see it. Now, I do think the Giants should consider moving back to get more picks. The problem is it's tough for this regime to try and move back, take a lesser player in that scenario, and then save your job because you got to win games. If they were in year one, like the Jets are with their new regime, like Aaron Glenn's not getting fired if the Jets go out there and win 4 games in 2025. We'll be pissed off. Like people will say, get rid of him. People will be irrational in that regard, but like he's not getting fired. Joe Shane and Brian Dable are gone if they win probably 7 games or less. Like they got to win. So they can't afford
one more year, baby. 3 more years. Keep them in power.
You know, they can't survive that. So I don't see it.
No, and the other thing is they're not in the draft to trade down. If there was another quarterback, there would be teams having that conversation. But it really just comes down to this. And they're kind of stuck as well because they're going to be in a position either to draft Abdul Carter, who's the best best edge rusher in this draft class, or taking the quarterback that they actually need. And for the prevailing theory should be they would take the quarterback, but this isn't really the quarterback class to sort of tie your career to. But if you're desperate like Brian Dable is, that conversation kind of gets brought back up.
It's a fascinating one nonetheless because, you know, they're in a very unique spot. They need a quarterback, but it's probably not worth the 3rd pick to take a quarterback, and they got to win. You know, Carter's probably the best player that's available to them, but if you can get a huge amount of picks, I think a different regime would consider that because it's like, well, we probably don't have a long-term answer at quarterback on our team, but we can't worry about picks for the next GM if we don't win. Like, what does Joe Shane care about all the future picks he's going to get if he's not the one making those picks next year?
Same kind of mindset Joe Douglas was in last season.
Yeah, and that went well, obviously.
It's the when the seat is hot, you are really stuck in a bind with every particular draft pick.
Oh, that seat was hot. It was hot, all right. And by the way, Joe Douglas still unemployed right now.
I'm sure he'll find a job relatively soon. This is more of the time for people to get ready for the draft. He'll probably have a job after the draft, kind of like when he was hired in the first place.
It's true. Marvin, Asmaniac Super Chat. Tyler Warren is the sexy pick. Membu is the needed pick. This draft isn't a deep wide receiver class. Corley needs to step his bleep up because he's losing me.
Well, he had 1 year. Like, guy, like seriously, this is kind of my point. We all want to have these immediate reactions to players who get drafted. He's a 3rd round pick. He needed development, and he didn't really get an opportunity to succeed overall with the Jets last season. He made really one bad play, and then he was essentially put in the doghouse for the rest of the year. Now, we can argue if that was right or not. I certainly don't think that it was right, particularly with how bad the Jets were later in the season. But, sorry, there's my phone, there's my computer. But it just goes back to, why are you giving up on a player so early? It's 1 year. You have chances and ways to succeed if you just give him the opportunity. He's coming into an offense and an offensive system that I think can get the most out of him moving forward.
Bang Mateo writes in, I don't give a damn that Membu dominated edges from Holy Cross and accountants from UCF. He struggled for NFL talent. Get on the beat, guys. I could tell you, Bang, unequivocally, this is not true. I had Joe Blewett on for a film review this morning, and he showed good Membu plays, and he showed some bad Membu plays and gave the most honest and fair evaluation you can find. That's not true. And if you don't believe Joe Blewett, go listen to Daniel Jeremiah break him down, or Connor Rogers, who I'll be, doing a segment with tonight at their event for the Badlands people. Like, I want them to take a weapon at 7 or trade back. That's been my thing. But I'm not going to criticize them if they take Armand Membu and he's the right tackle. I understand the logic. I think he's worthy of the pick.
I agree. And it goes back to overall value. It comes back to which player of position the Jets want to take right away. I will say from the beginning, I don't think the tight end position is smart to take with the 7th overall pick, but it's a clear need, and they would be solidifying a need for the Jets moving forward. You can't really argue against that. There's a thought process there to be successful if Tyler Warren's the pick. Now, there are other conversations of, why would you do this instead of the tackle? Is Warren a plug-and-play guy? When you draft a player 7th overall, you're kind of expecting him to make an immediate impact on the season right away. All these things are going to be come into it. With Membu, it's more of a plug-and-play situation. That's kind of part of that debate that goes into it. But by and large, the Jets can't really go wrong if they take a tight end or a tackle with the 7th overall pick.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I saw clips and whatnot. I was never a big Game of Thrones guy.
Mother effing Chew writes in, Lazard has 2 Jamie Lannister hands.
I understood that reference. I understood that reference, but Jesus.
Well done, Mother effing Chew. Please hit the like button. Rick Kent wants to know, is UCF known for its accounting program?
I have no idea. That's a good question.
Jersey Jet says, JD has an interview at Alden Shoes next Wednesday. He probably does. Bonesy would love to hire him. Now, I will show you guys this. While we were determining what exactly to put on the new Mr. Bonesy emoji, one of the ideas was a homage to Bonesy's lover, Joe Douglas. So this was one of the ideas. Hold on, let me find it. I posted the wrong thing. We have a version of the shirt where Joe Douglas is a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Joe Douglas Mr. Bonesy championship emoji. There it is. So we thought about it. We did think about it. Anyway, last chance to get a question to Nick. If you have a comment on anything draft related and you want us to react to it, super chat that in and we will put it up on the screen. Another reminder to get your draft ticket if you haven't before we sell out. Just click the link in the description and lock in your ticket. Let's do a couple calls before we say goodbye to Nick. First up today is the great Kyle Clifton. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, gents? How are you?
How you doing?
I know that we're all very, very sensitive about the idea of taking a running back in this draft. Let's talk about a hypothetical. We're sitting there in the 3rd round, and a guy like Travion Henderson is just hanging out there.
He's chilling.
Right? He's just chilling. And all of a sudden, we had something in place for just such an occasion because we have a very prudent general manager in Mr. Muji. And he's got a trade with the Dallas Cowboys or whomever for Braylon Allen for a future draft pick for about where he went in the draft and maybe like a 7th rounder this year. But the about where he went in the draft for maybe next year or whatever. So we're getting multiple picks, one maybe next year, one late round this year. Do you do that? Would you do that where you consider that you're doing like a considerable upgrade over the player in your eyes?
So you're saying Braylon Allen for a couple of extra picks and one of those picks is who?
You would say maybe, what did he go in the 4th or the 5th last year?
Yeah,
Last
he went the 4th round.
Okay, so maybe you get a 5th and maybe you get a 6th or a 7th this year,
Okay.
right? And then you get the opportunity to upgrade the position, and you have a plan where you're going to be running a lot of pony, or you're going to be, you're smoothing the path for Breece's, what I think is an inevitable departure. What do you think about that scenario?
Certainly a possibility. I wouldn't necessarily do that because I think Braylon Allen in this offense, going into year 2 of his deal, you don't really have to worry about moving him. For Breece Hall, it's a little bit different, but the issue with Hall is the fact that if you're getting rid of a second-round player who has been impactful for you, you want to make sure you get the top most value you can. This isn't the offseason to do it. If he has a good year this year, then you franchise tag him and then trade him. There's nothing in the book to say you can't do that either.
I'm not on trading Breece. There would have to be like a very rare set of scenarios for that to ever happen.
So Kyle, let's think of it this way, right? So let's say they keep Braylon Allen. The Jets are 3-5, 3-6, and Breece Hall's having a great year.
Mm-hmm.
You move at the deadline, you trade him to a team that's going to be contending. Now, all of a sudden, you get an extra pick that's a better pick in 2026.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Nick. I think that Breece, it's more likely he would go at the deadline, if at all. But I'm saying that, like someone like Braylon Allen, I think that you can be opportunistic on day 2 if the right opportunity were to present itself. That's all I'm saying.
Got to make sure you have the running back.
There might be players in this draft that would be a clear upgrade.
It's tough. There's got a good
Nick
running
likes
back
those
here.
Wisconsin running backs, man.
That's the other thing. Like, and here's the other thing. If you get a good offensive line, average running backs can look really, really good. DeAndre Swift ran for 1,000 yards in Philadelphia's offense, and he is not a 1,000-yard runner.
Right. But, I mean, I heard some comparisons from Trevion Henderson, who is, like, not, considered to be one of the top 2 or 3 running backs in this draft, to Jamal Charles. So that's the only reason why I'm saying
intriguing.
It's intriguing if something like that were to happen. I think it's something you would have to have in place to be able to be nimble and to be able to do it. Thanks for your time, guys.
Kyle, appreciate it. Nick, I don't know if you saw this. Actual breaking news, and there is a potential Jet angle to this as well. Just being reported by Ian Rappaport, the Saints suddenly have a major quarterback question. Derek Carr dealing with a shoulder injury that threatens his availability for this upcoming season. Carr weighing options, including the possibility of surgery. We know the Saints are at 9. Jets are at 7. All of a sudden, New Orleans, they need a quarterback. I do wonder, by the way, would Aaron Rodgers consider New Orleans as a possibility?
No,
Maybe that's the holdup. I don't know. I'm just saying. But anyway, Jet related. Let's get to that. I mean, all of a sudden, New Orleans, hey, you really want to lock in your quarterback? Shador's there at 7. Trade us a second-round pick. Come up 2 spots. Boom. You get your guy, or who knows? Like I think the different ramifications of this now are fascinating. If Derek Carr is going to miss most of the season, if not all of the season,
I don't think they're going to have to trade up to get him. I really don't. And here's why. Let's go through this. 1 is going to go to Cam Ward. You expect Travis Hunter to go 2 to Cleveland. I think the Giants are going to take Abdul Carter at 3. Will Campbell will go 4 to the Patriots. 5 will be Mason Graham with the Jaguars. 6 is Jeanty. Jets take Membu. 8, maybe Jalen Walker for the Panthers. And then you have there for the Saints, on a silver platter, Shedeur Sanders. So I don't think they need to trade anybody if they want Shedeur with the 9th overall pick. If they want to get aggressive, I certainly think that the Jets would be in contention for a trade down. I also think the Patriots could be in contention for a trade down. They're a team sitting at 4 that have a lot of needs along the roster. And if they can pick up an extra first-round pick, an extra second-round pick, that would be all the better for their organization moving forward. So there are going to be a few teams that the Saints try to call in this instance. But again, the way I look at it, the way my draft board currently falls, I think Shedeur is going to be there at 9 for them without having to give up any added picks.
Shedeur Sanders to the Saints, Jackson Dart to the Saints. There's some intriguing possibilities of that now being a thing. Nick, happy Friday. Appreciate you hopping on as always. We'll catch up soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jake.
Nick Faria, weekly segment on the show. Now we throw it to you, your comments, questions, super chats, and your calls on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline. Get a Gustbuster umbrella. April showers, man. Weather's been trash in New York. And look, I want to make sure that you guys are protected out there. Gustbuster.com. Free shipping on orders over $99. Jake25 is the 2025 discount code for 15% off any umbrella. Jake25 or Jake2025. Quick poll update for old time's sake. Today's poll question: do you miss Asmaniac Madness? Yes, 56%. Duh, 44%. How about it? Oh, we're having withdrawals here on the show. First person that gifted a membership today is Dre Day, Jet fan. Boom. Dre Day, thank you very much. Your channel membership was gifted to listener Philip Rinaldi. We've only had one membership gifted so far. Gift away on a Friday. If you want in on the raffle, which will be Monday in all likelihood, Monday morning on the first show, we're giving away this signed Joe Namath Super Bowl III helmet, the signed Curtis Martin helmet, the signed Joe Klecko football, the signed Wayne Corbett football, our top items in this week's Asmaniac raffle. Store says, please, football gods, give us Shedeur Sanders. Amen. I'd stay away. I'd stay away. I don't think this is the year to make that type of investment in a quarterback when you already paid Justin Fields $30 million guaranteed. Play it out. Better quarterback class in all likelihood next year. You have Fields for a year. That to me is the practical approach. Unless it was Cam Ward, because I don't know anything, but I just don't think the other guys are worth top 7 picks. Like I think Cam Ward is. I don't think he's going to be there. That to me is the thing. JD said no AR to the Saints. I mean, Nick shot it down. I think it's possible. What's an easier path for Aaron Rodgers to have success? The AFC or the NFC? To me, it's still the NFC. And that division stinks. What I want to know is, how did Derek Carr get hurt in the offseason? This guy is always hurt. He really is always hurt, man. And they redid his contract and guaranteed all that money. He refused to take a pay cut. He called the Saints bluff on it. And they said, you know what? You're right. There's no other option out there. We're just going to keep you for another year. And they guaranteed like $40 million. And now, how'd he get hurt? I want to know what he did. Was he playing like pickup basketball, Aaron Boone style? And then, the Saints are going to trade for Alex Rodriguez? Like, what happened? That's the question. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the show. We'll take your calls coming up here. Let's see. Comments, questions, super chats. Keep them coming. Once again, congratulations to Mr. Bonesy on the Asmaniac Madness Championship. And thanks again to everyone who made Asmaniac Madness, our first ever Asmaniac Madness, a rousing success. Our final four, King Lowski, Gary, Neil, and Bonesy, as good as he gets. The Elite Eight, Sweet 16, everyone who was a part of it. I mean, to think that we started at 64. We got down to 1 yesterday, man. Unreal. All right. I got open phone lines. For those of you who want in, let's continue with your comments here. Dana writes in, this is exactly why nobody can clown the Jets for the Rodgers pickup. It was him, Carr, or Tannehill. No, it was actually Jimmy Garoppolo was the other option that year, Dana. Yeah, look, I'll continue to say it. It's a shame it didn't work with Aaron Rodgers. It was still the right move to pursue him. It was. No one could have predicted that he got hurt in the fourth play. It changed everything. It really did. But it was the right move. The Jets were going nowhere with Derek Carr. They were going nowhere with Jimmy Garoppolo. Rodgers gave you the hope of having a shot at winning. Didn't work, but Our ceiling was infinitely higher with him than it was with any of the other options. Christopher writes in, Jake, love you, buddy. What position should we not draft? Thank you, Christopher. Well, if you're talking about the first round, then definitely quarterback. I wouldn't take a corner in the first round. I certainly wouldn't take a center. I wouldn't take a running back. But if they took any of those positions after the first round, it's tough to be that critical. Now, center, I'd be critical. If you have Joe Tippmann, like, we're good. But the other positions, if they took a corner, a running back, a quarterback, well, maybe not ideal for what I want to see them do. There's a major difference in taking any of those positions, besides really center, because of Tippmann, in the second round and beyond versus the first round. First round's a different beast. Because also, not all first-round picks are created equal. Jets have the seventh pick in the draft. The goal is to not be picking in the top 10 anytime soon if you're Aaron Glenn. That's how they're looking at it. You got one shot at a top 10 pick with this regime. One shot at it, right? That was the Lions' whole thing. 3 wins their first year. Then they were 9-8, and then the last 2 years you've seen the success. That's what we're talking about here. At least that's the hope. I mean, we've had hope before too. We've had hope before. Mimosa in the house. We shouted her out earlier when we saw she bought a draft ticket. She just dropped a 20 spot.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
Strap up on a Friday, baby. Strap up. Let's freaking go. 20 memberships, 20 raffle entries now.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
If you hear your name, you thank Mimosa, Baby J, Ghosty Plays, Dev Finch, Eric Schmidt, Special Graydon User, Miguel Padilla, Thomas Pohl, Haskell 420, Edwin Rodriguez, SB24 Projects, Adam Procalini, The Real YT Shadow, Tony, NB, Joe Campanelli, Dr. Nesnib, Hayward W. Messages, Pastors, Friends, and Christ NC. Jesus Christ, that's the longest name ever. Ed Lee Daly, Carmen Rulo, Alan Stinks, I Snagview YT, all receiving a membership there from the Mimosa. Love it. Thank you to Mimosa, as always, for the support. More of your calls right now. Are we getting a Friday helmet talk? If that's the case, I got to raise my volume so my headsets can pick it up. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan is on the line. Hello, Ryan.
Yo, what up, Jake? I saw you put the helmet on.
There we go.
How's it going, brother?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. So you think they'll let me in down there in Clinton Hall if I carry this in?
I will absolutely do everything in my power for them to let you in. We're getting you in. That helmet needs to be on. It's going to be a huge part of the night.
Yeah. Hey, and I just wanted to say, man, congratulations on the whole Asmaniac madness, man. I'm already missing it.
That's awesome. Thank you, dude.
I'm already missing it. But yeah, I saw you throw the helmet on, so I said, let me just try to get in there real quick. I did have a question for you, Jets related. I watched the Rich Eisen show a lot, and he had a take where he was saying that the Jets should try to trade up to third and get Travis Hunter. And I haven't really heard too many suggestions like that, and I was just trying to get your take on it because it's something that we never discussed really on here.
Yeah, I would love it. I don't see a new regime trading a ton of assets to move up. I think they want to stockpile picks, not jettison picks. They have too many holes.
Yeah, I agree. I just figured I'd ask because I was like, man, that's a wild take. But
yeah, it is. Look, I'd love Travis Hunter. I just don't see it. Also, picturing the Jets and the Giants doing business, I find it unlikely.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I just had to see what you felt about it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Ryan, I look forward to seeing you at the draft party.
Yeah, I'll see you there, buddy.
You got it. Helmet Talk with Ryan, a staple on this great program. Love it. I don't think Travis Hunter will even be there at 3 for what it's worth. I think the top 3 is going to go Cam, Hunter to Cleveland, and Abdul Carter to the Giants. I thought for a while Shador would go too, but it doesn't feel like it right now. Especially now with this Derek Carr injury. Doesn't feel like it. Could be wrong. Things happen. Things do happen, so you can't rule that out. I miss Vegas. This guy looks like he's in Vegas. We know he's not. Where is he? The Australian Jet fan's next.
Hey,
Where are you?
I'm in the club.
Oh, you're in the club, baby. Yeah.
I'm someone who wants to say hi.
And he's got pretty ladies with him, or as Charles Gorman would say, lovely ladies. Yeah. I love it.
Frank, I'll see you at the club party.
You got it. Australian Jet fan at the club in Finland, living his best life. Love it. Make sure you know what? I don't want to say that. You know what? I have the perfect drop, though. This is what I will say about that. All right. AJF, here's what I have to say. All right. In advance.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
So we hope. For our guy, AJF. Mimosa writes in, Mr. Bonesy, can't wait to meet you and the other Asmaniacs at the draft party. Yeah, let's go. We got Mimosa coming. That will raise the 4% demographic for the actual party. We got a lot of 4%ers that are coming, which will be great. Pat Rich says, Jake was going to say, make sure to wear a condom. I might have been thinking of saying that. Perhaps. You know, there's a saying out there, right? Don't be silly, wrap your willy. And I'll leave it at that. Anyway. Oregon says, we will be picking in the top 10 again next year. Take Jeanty to pair with a rookie quarterback next year. Salvage whatever you can get. Why are you assuming we're in the top 10 next year? Why assume that? You can't think that way. Come on. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the conversation. Dave Brigger writes in, Bobby will be perspiring. Or perspiring. Is it? What's the word there? I don't even know. It's when you're sweating. Is it perspiring or perspiring? No, it's perspiring, right? Profusely knowing Mimosa is attending the draft party. Bobby will be excited. Bobby's been boycotting the show, though. I mean, he hasn't called in a while. Didn't call in on the first show. Didn't call in now. What's going on with Bobby Midnight? What's he doing? Nate says, love when Jake reads English. Hell yeah. I love when you fight with June, the GM, on the Boy Green program. I went back and watched that, Nate. My God. That was wild. My God. All right. On that note, I know what you're all thinking. Is it time? Look, the answer to that is, yeah. You know what it is.
Holy crap, here comes Beastbreaker 666.
Why don't you get your fat ass on a treadmill and go the distance with me?
Is that Bobby Midnight?
I'm not into politics, and I already told you that.
I might be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
Beastbreaker always has some salient points.
See this, Jake? A little construction, a little bit of fixing. Had to do a little piping with the holes here. The 3A drill always works handy. If you have duct tape and you're using it wisely, it's the best common cure known to mankind.
I love it. Well, how come you just don't buy another belt, though?
With the way everything is today, you got to use this before using the, I'm not going to mention, your willy. Like you said on the show. So, case point, logic. I'm going to be at that draft party, but I'm going to be there in spirit, and I will be watching. And I will be drafting, and I will be having this.
Wait, you're going to be drafting, and then what are you doing with a Sharpie?
I'm going to be grading these picks that we get. I'll be making grades. Hard grades.
Oh, yeah, as opposed to soft grades.
That's right. And Brigger's going to be watching, too, from all angles. See, he's not stupid. He's like a ring general. See, just remember, Brigger's older, he's wiser, he's smarter, and he knows what he's doing. See, I'm going to get there in 30 years. See, he's older than me. He's up here, I'm right here. Just remember, up here, he's an OG. I'm like a small OG. That's a difference. See, there's facts, and then there comes fiction.
What was your GPA?
My GPA was a 3.2.
Hell yeah.
And I don't like mentioning that because that, sure, it's a part of life, and it's the way the world works. Everything has its purpose of who, what, where, when, why, and how.
Mm-hmm.
All 6. Does Beast like? Are you nuts? I've had deep dish pizza more times than anything else. Let me just say this. If you want good pizza, let me say this. The thin crust pizza in New York City is just that damn awesome. And Jake is right about one thing. Texas pizza? Nah. Tennessee? No. Chicago's okay, but New York and New Jersey has the greatest pizza on the planet. And nobody can't do that. Mr. Garrett, I'm not writing Brigger. I'm just making facts. See, he's older than me, and he's smarter than me. He has 30 more years on me. I'm 41. He's in his 70s. He's a tough man. He's like bricks. He's like iron steel. Me, I'm like brickwork. I know how to keep going. See, it's going to take years for me to work. See, in 30 more years, I'll get to his stage, but it will wait. See, good times are going to come. Good times will come. You just need to learn to have patience. Patience.
Big fella wants to know, what size belt do you wear?
I don't like talking about my belt size. I like to keep that to myself. Thank you. And I like to keep things to my own beat. See, I dance to my own beat, and I drum to my own beat.
You want to dance for us?
Whoa. Wait. Hold on one second here. Who's smarter than Mike? These nuts, you boy. Boy, oh boy. Kid, you don't want to get into a tussle with me, but let me just say this. Back in 6th grade, I was dealing with punks like you on a street corner. And you know why? They knew. They feared me. It's called, you want to pick a fight? I got 2 options for you. Do you want to go to the cemetery? Or do you want to take a ride with the Undertaker? Pick your poison right now. The cemetery or the Undertaker?
Who do you want the Jets to draft, Beast? What's your ideal pick?
First thing, I've already said loud and I've already said clear. We're going after Warren first. Then we're going to get Membu. And then as Neil once said, we need big boys who can play the game the hard way. That means shoving and getting in their face and taking it to them and throwing these bastards onto the ground. No more this wishy-washy, grabbing the face mask. We're not playing that shit now. We're not playing. Now it's time to get serious, time to get ugly, time to knock some teeth out. And hey, if we have to throw them on the ground a couple times like we used to do, like, get out of our face, boy! Get out of our face! You remember how Mike, if you were in 6th grade with me, I would have mopped the floor with you all night long with my size 10 boot that I still got. And let me just say this, son. I got a pair of Timbos that I paid $60 for. So don't think I won't kick your ass in a mosh pit. I could kick your ass in a mosh pit. Just give me Hatebreed, give me Motorhead, and Vader. You'll be knocked out round 1 against me in a Hatebreed show because you will not survive.
Beastbreaker.
Thank you, Beast. Good stuff there, as always. Happy Friday, everybody. Click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. What's about to happen right now will transform our show once and for all. Gator McCluskey was in the lab, and he has produced the intro for our king.
He's the king.
Jake, my brother. I get him, man. From the first video I ever seen, from the first video you ever made from me, man, you will forever be a damn legend, Gator. Boy, I tell you, every video that motherfucking Gator make, man, he got me cracking up. Low ski. I love it, man. Shout out to the Asmaniacs, man. Hey, shout out to the chat. Hey, man, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this draft, man, because I'm starting to see that we starting to make this rocket science, people, and it gotta be rocket science, you know? At the end of the day, baby, we need the weapon. Go get the weapon. How hard you want to make it? God, dog. We ain't gotta make it hard, baby. Just go get the weapon. That's all we gotta do, man. And all of the trade up, trade down scenarios are beautiful, baby. And I get it, but let's stay focused and get the doggone weapon. All right, let's not make it complicated. Oh, we can get this in the set. We can get another second round. And here's no, man. Hold on. Time out. At the end of the day, we have to get the weapon. We have to prioritize the weapon. Okay? Let's do that, baby. Let's not make it rocket science, man. I'm loving all the calls, Jake, man. You're doing a great job, baby, as usual, baby. Gator, I appreciate you again, baby. JTF! Just. JTF! Just.
Incredible. We got a long version and a short version of the new King Lowski Open. Gator, you're the legend, man. Gator voiced that himself. It's him singing, which is so funny. It's a great one. It really is. Long overdue. Awesome. Well deserved, man. We could not have had a better championship matchup yesterday. If we played that match 100 times, 50 times Bonesy would have won, 50 times King would have won. That's how great that was. It was 50-50 with 30 minutes to go and ended up being 51-48. It was closer to, just doing the math, it was closer to 51-49, though, with like the decimal points and stuff. Like, it was really close. It was unreal. Dre checks in. Jersey pizza is disgusting. Just have Gary pizza. Unreal. Unreal. Hit the like button if you haven't. Joe says Lowski wins with that song from Gator. Yeah, if Gator had that for like yesterday, man, I don't know. Because I do think, we were talking about this, I do think Mr. Bonesy got a big pop in the voting after his wife came through with the vacuum video. I think that really helped Bonesy in the matchup against Gary, and I think he was able to kind of ride that momentum into the matchup with King.
Oh, Mr. Bonesy.
Tremendous. Eric is on the line. He's up next. I got open phone lines. If anyone wants to join the show, if you're a first-time caller, there's never been a better time to make your debut. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Jake. I think the Saints news is actually pretty huge because it kind of starts to run at quarterback way earlier. Some people might think, Shador would slip to the Steelers or a little earlier where they could trade up. Now, if the Steelers want him, they might have to trade with us. And it does give us, if I'm Muji, I'm calling up the Saints and saying, we'll take him if you don't trade up, not a bluff. Obviously, we're not really going to take him, but there should be pressure on him we should be putting pressure to get some trade back because we have too many needs to stay where we are if we can move.
I think you're right. It's a great point. And maybe Pittsburgh is more desperate to get a quarterback if they think the guy they want would go to the Saints. The question is, does anyone love these quarterbacks to trade that far into the top 10 to take one? That's the thing.
Well, even some people were saying the Giants were planning to wait to the second round to get Dart, and now all of a sudden, if the Saints are taking Shador, then the Steelers are taking Dart, then it leaves a lot of open ground for people to move around and panic. And the more panic there is, the better it is for us with an early round pick.
Yeah, 100%. I just feel like it's still unlikely, but the odds do go up with something like this, Eric. We can't debate it. Now, where's that pizza from? Where are you located? What are we eating?
I'm at Mano's in Queens. This is like my favorite slice of pizza. I'm from New Jersey, but it's a good slice up here.
Love it. So you're getting a real New York slice then. That's tremendous.
Yes, yeah, a real New York slice. I'm more of like a Neapolitan guy, but can't go wrong with a good slice.
How do you feel about gas station pizza?
I agree with a lot of Gary's football takes, but his non-football takes, I have a hard time agreeing with him. Chicken and pasta, gas station pizza, hard.
It's tough. What did you think of Asmaniac Madness, Eric? Did we get the right champion in your eyes?
I actually had Lowski winning it, but I think it was a great battle. There was a while I thought it might be Neil and Mr. Bonesy in the final again, a rematch at the shoe store, but it's pretty good. Something that I noticed though is none of the one seeds call in anymore after they lost. Are they all like, reeling from? Yeah, no more Bobby Midnight, no more. Yeah, I mean Lane Train was scarce anyway, but Charles here and there, he's not there too often. Chiefs fan just disappeared completely.
Yeah, they kind of go in waves. We've seen that. Now Bobby, I don't know. Bobby's probably having one of those moody episodes he goes through now when he's on his period, so that could be it. But we've heard from Charles. He's called in. He's still doing his thing. Chiefs fan is the real absentee guy because like Lane is always hit or miss, but Chiefs fan's been gone for a while now.
Yeah, he just like completely disappeared. Bobby still starts his show after your show finishes though, so that's kind of funny. Like, he's watching you, so
hey,
he's just not calling in.
How's it going, Bob? Yep.
He's going to be at the draft party, right?
He's going to be there, but if I don't hear from him, I mean, why am I comping him a ticket if I don't even know where his whereabouts these days?
Yeah, that's true. Charles is going to be there, so no, Lowski's from Atlanta, right? And Chiefs fans from Kansas City or whatever, or he's in Chicago.
No one really knows his exact whereabouts, but I know Chiefs fan will not be at the draft party. Bobby and Mikey Midnight will be, and Gorman will be, and B-Man.
Oh, Mikey's going to be there too? Oh, nice.
Yep. So we do have some heavy hitters. Are you coming to the draft party, Eric?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. You get your ticket?
Yeah, I got my ticket really early on.
Cool. You're all set then, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. Enjoy that pizza, all right?
Well, see you later.
Eric checking in. Good call from Eric there. Peter Castro says, good riddance, the Chiefs fan. Damn. Wouldn't want to be Peter Castro right now. You're going to end up under Chiefs fans' couch. Maybe Chiefs fan got a job, right? Maybe that's why he hasn't called in as much. Dave Briga inspired him. Rich says, Bonesy is a champion. That's right. The champ. When he walks in, we call him champ at the draft party. Good take here from Anthony, who will be at the draft party. John's of Bleecker, best pizza ever. That's my favorite New York spot. It's not really a knock. It's just kind of how they do it. You can't go there and just get a slice. They only serve full pies. So you got to go with someone. right? Otherwise, you just go in there and you just get into full pie. If you want a slice, I still think Joe's is as good as any. You know, it's cliche or whatever. It's like basic, but like have a slice from Joe's. It's outstanding. And it's also like right next to John's on Bleecker if you're in the West Village. That's where I ran into Breece Hall during the season this past year. Nate says Sal and Carmine's. Yep. Pizza Supreme right by MSG. Another really good spot I like. I mean, I love all the New York pizza. It's very hard to find bad New York pizza when you're someone who lived in Texas for 6 years. Like, the worst pizza place in New York is by far the best place you'll get in Texas. Let's see. Suprema near the guard. Yeah, I just said that. Good call. Yep, definitely. Gator writes, and hopefully Chiefs fan is at anger management meeting. Bobby no longer needs you as he's fake monetized now. Yeah, by the way, Nick Shine finally admitted to Bobby that he paid like, I don't know, it was like $30 to get Bobby like 300 subscribers so he could be monetized. Lane has a herpes sore on his lip waiting for it to heal. Charles is catfishing. That's a pretty good breakdown of where the 1 seats are. Rich says, smash the like button. Amen. Pat says, hey, Jake, is it too late to get a ticket for the draft party? It is not too late. We do still have tickets available. We do have tickets available. So make sure you lock one in. We still have tables available, too. More than I thought. So if you have like a group you're going with, I recommend reserving a table. Get yourself a guaranteed spot. There's tables for for general admission people, but it's first come, first serve. So like if you want a guaranteed spot to sit all night, that's yours. I recommend the table route, but there you go. Dino, are both your parents short? How tall do you think I am, Dino? No, my dad's 5'10". I'm 5'8". My mom's like 5'3", maybe. Kyle says the one thing definitely Gary and I agree on, New Park in Howard Beach. Never been. Ryan with a super chat. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Bobby, Charles, and Chiefs ain't working. Shout out to Bonesy and shout out to all my boys in the chat. JETS. Love it. Beast just yelling about Dave Briga. Dave Briga is like Clint Eastwood from Heartbreak Ridge, 1986. Pat says, cool. Trying to get my girlfriend to go too. Hell yeah, Pat. We welcome all the 4%ers. Wow, something Alan and I will agree on. Pizza in Texas is garbage. Nate says, Jake, have you ever been to Queens? I was born in Queens, Nate. And we lived in Douglaston for a while, too, growing up before my family moved to East Meadow first and then Syosset. Let's see. Jersey Jet recommends the Little Caesars on Staten Island. That's a whole worthy comment there, Jersey Jet. Peter Castro is really pushing for this Neil and Bobby sing-off. That would require Bob to call it. Jeremy says Geno's in Long Beach. If we're going Long Island, then Little Vincent's in Huntington would be my top choice. Phil's Pizza in Syosset. Let's say hello to Indy Jets, who's on the line. Hello, Indy.
Hey, Jake. Hey, I just called in just because Gator said nobody was going to put Beast on if nobody else called in. So here I am.
Do you want to talk to Beast?
No, I actually don't. I just wanted to say, hey, I got my notification. You know, the Asmaniac gear will be here tomorrow. So I'll have it for next Thursday. The following Thursday.
Yeah, 13 days.
But
yep.
It's going to be I got to take it in, and it's getting personalized.
Tremendous. I'm excited for that.
Oh, there's the beast. The beast is quiet. Thank goodness. But no, I am with a lot of the other Asmaniacs here. I miss one day. It's not even been 24 hours, and I already I'm like, who can I vote for? Who can I vote for? And I, so I'm just putting my vote out as my vote was a yes.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means anything or not, but but yeah, looking forward to it. I want to reach out to you on an email or something, because I'm not real familiar with New York City. I haven't been there since 2015.
Wow, long time.
Yeah, that was my first, my one and only trip to MetLife, and but so as
bastard.
Far as how,
said you poor bastard.
Yeah, I know, and it was a Monday night game, and it was. Yeah, it was just atrocious, and I drove there. So, you know how the traffic is leaving. Yeah, that's just, but anyway, I just wanted to reach out. I'll reach out to you on email. I've got some questions as far as subways and whatever, however it is to get to Clinton Hall. Cause I'm sure there's not I haven't even figured that out yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Happy to help you, man. Let me know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all. That's really all. I'm just calling just to keep the beast off the screen as best I can, and just doing my part for Gator.
I love it, Indy. You're the man. Good call. Yeah, stay anywhere in New York, Indy, because whatever deal you could find, because the venue is right in Midtown, so super easy to get to if you're anywhere in New York. Like the subway line. You probably have like every line over there. I mean, we're 10 minutes from MSG. Like, you're right in Midtown. I see Who's Your Daddy's in the chat. Congrats to Who's Your Daddy. Came in second place in the Asmaniac Madness bracket pool. First place was Mr. Bonesy, so he doubles up. He wins the best of the best trophy, and he wins the grand prize for the bracket pool. He signed Sauce Gardner jersey, and he's being sent that T-shirt that we flashed on the show earlier. And he gets his draft ticket comped. But second place in the pool was Who's Your Daddy. And then Yeti also won a prize in the pool. It came in third place, and that was a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. And I sent both those jerseys out, gentlemen, so they'll be there soon. Mr. Bonesy writes in, I heard JJ is looking for someone's lap to sit on at the draft party. Then he will sing Gators remix. God. Ladies and gentlemen, are my eyes deceiving me? What do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster hotline is Dre. Hello, Dre.
Yo.
And a Genergy cameo. Whoa.
We got cookies, Jake. We had schmackeries. We got chocolate chip. What we got? Look at this, beautiful.
A meeting of the minds. Look at this.
That is a cookie right there. Let me just tell you. Listen, I had to call in. I'm here with my peoples. I'm here in NYC looking for Nate, parentheses Nate. I don't see him. I'm looking at all these bike people. I never see Nate, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I love it. Are you going to the Badlands event, Trey?
Yeah, we'll be there. I'm going to be there.
Draft party.
Draft party all day, every day.
I love it. I will see you tonight then. That's great.
Damn, I can't hear it.
No, we can't hear it.
Hold on, Jake. 1 second.
I'm here, Dre. Don't worry. I'm here. Check in with the Beast right now while we wait. Beast, how's it going? Beast? Beast.
Hold on there, Jake. I'm getting somebody his dinner tonight.
Oh, your guinea pig?
Yep, he's getting a little action. Apples and good old watermelon. As a matter of fact, he's waiting right there in the back for me. Hold on, you little guy. Let me get you din ready. Here we go. All right, let's get you on the Guinea Pig Express train. Here we go. Ding. Service with a smile. See, now that's what you call service. Feels good.
Well done, Beast. Hey, I'll check back in with you. I got my special guest on the line here. Stand by. All right, let's go back to Dre and Jeanty. Hello, Dre and Jeanty. Dre? Dre, do you hear us?
Let's try to do this. We don't drink.
Dre?
Oh, are we back? Oh,
you're on the air.
We are back online. I'm over here trying to get the audio going. I can't get the.
Keep working on it. Let's say hello to Johnny Boy and special guest Snowball. Oh, baby.
We're on the way. We're on the way. Coming in.
Wow. You guys are sharing the Long Island Railroad together. What a moment.
Yeah, history is being made.
Where are we taking the train from? Northport?
We're in Wantagh.
Wantagh. Wow.
That's it. We're right by Mulcahy's.
I love it. That's tremendous. This is going to be a great night. I can't wait to see you guys.
We're waiting on J Quest. We're waiting on Quest right now, too. He's making an appearance.
Wow. J Quest is coming into the city?
Yeah, man. We got everybody.
Nate
Dogg going to be up in the building, too.
I love it. This is great. This is awesome. I'm glad so many of our listeners are going to be at this thing later, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, we want to make Jake Asman chant? We got you.
I'm on. I'm supposed to go on with them at 8:30. It's me, Connor, and Joe, and we're doing like a Jet discussion when I'm out there. So make some noise when I'm out there. I appreciate it.
Should we put you on our shoulders?
Yeah. I'm gonna bring a mini Jake Asman show football, and I'll throw it out into the crowd, and I'll try and find you guys. So I can throw it to you guys.
Right, man. We'll see you in a bit.
Love it.
Please. All right.
Johnny Boy and Snowball checking in. All right, this show's winding down because I got to be there at 6:30, and I am not ready to go yet. Last chance here. Lock in your draft ticket if you haven't. Manny just bought a draft ticket for him and a guest. Manny, thank you very much. Looking forward to having you. Beastbreaker.
I'm feeling good. Pig. Not too bad, but
where's the guinea pig?
What? Hey,
people want to see the guinea pig.
He's eating dessert right now. I gave him a sliced.
Take your phone, right? Are you on your phone right now or no?
No. My phone's over there in the charge right now.
Oh, okay. So are you on a laptop or like an actual computer?
Yeah, I'm on the computer. I got the little thing right here with me. He's right over there eating the dessert.
Yeah, we want to see him in his natural habitat.
Well, he's eating dessert right now. I don't want to get him out of this cage. He's gonna get all grumpy at me. He's a boy. Remember, he's only 8 months old. In about 4 more months, he's gonna be a year old. That's gonna be teenager year for him.
All right, what are you doing for his birthday?
He's gonna get something very, very special, a very special toy. Because guinea pigs love toys. He likes his tunnels. I'm gonna see if I can get him like a bridge, a nice little guinea pig bridge.
What'd you name him?
Did you forget, little Joey?
Oh, little Joey. That's right. I did forget. Thank you for the reminder.
It happens to the best of us. But I will be at that draft party. And are you going to be on the Connor show tonight?
I will not be on the Connor show tonight. I will be at the Badlands live show. It's a live taping of their podcast, but it's not being streamed anywhere.
Oh, so it's kind of like cable television, but with a little different vibe.
Yeah, you know what? Exactly. Yep, nailed it.
Boom. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Go out there and give him the old, go out there and give him the old 1-2 kid. Just go out there.
I'm thinking about giving them the Garrett Wilson catch. Can you show me how it's done?
Oh, this is gonna be so easy. A caveman can do it. Okay, gentlemen, we ready? 3 over there. 3. Right. Black 68. Black 68. Moving down. 10. High. Oh yeah, baby. Take it to the goddamn bank. Oh yeah.
Now, that is a tremendous way to cap a show, huh? Anthony with a super chat. Beast, does your guinea pig like gabagool? Oh, come on. We know the answer to that. Hell yeah. Boomtown, God bless those bed springs. Oh, man. Unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to end the show, but Jeanty figured out how to get the call to work, I'd imagine. Hello, Jeanty.
Back from the cookies, live from Schmackery's on 14th and 3rd.
Lowski, I know you're hating right now.
Lowski, my love, mi amor. I voted for you. Wait, whoa. How's up? Picture my cheeks. Drake.
Look at this guy.
Drake.
We represent the Jets all day, every day.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is everyone going through Asmaniac madness withdrawal? Because I definitely am.
Apparently, yeah.
We don't know what to do.
We opened the poll. Do you miss Asmaniac Madness? Just to give people a poll to vote in.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. 100%. We missed it. We need it back. We need it back in my veins.
I need it, man.
We addicts.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Will I be seeing you guys tonight? Are you going to that Badlands event?
No,
I didn't know where's the.
Is there
maybe
an
the
island?
after? I didn't get any tickets. Is there an after party or something? An after meetup?
I think you could go. Yeah. There isn't like I think around 9:00 it opens up for everyone after the live podcast is done. Where is it? It's a great question. I should know this. Yeah, that I could do. I actually don't know where it is, funny enough, and I'm appearing on it.
All right.
I gotta check. I know it's not far from. It's in Midtown somewhere. I just gotta look it up real quick.
Midtown.
I'll figure it out. I'll put it in the Discord.
All
Don't
right.
worry.
Sounds good. All right.
Printer's Alley. That's where it is. Printer's Alley. Thank you, big fella. That's right. I had it saved on my phone somewhere. Anyway. Addison, Asmaniac Super Chat. Sal Carmine's forever. Thank you, Nate, for introducing me to greatness. Sal Carmine's is very good, so no argument there. All right, that's a show. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Nick Faria, who joined us for the first hour of the show. Probably not doing a Saturday show tomorrow. I haven't skipped a single weekday show in months, but tomorrow I'm doing 4 hours of radio on Sirius, so might not have a Saturday show. We will have a Sunday show, though. That is the plan. So appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to seeing some Asmaniacs tonight. It's always a blast. Congrats again to Mr. Bonesy. And I think it'd be fitting to pay homage to our other true champion, the great King Lowski. Have a good weekend, everybody. Go Jets and get your draft party ticket today.